We get a lot of questions, some specific to a client's needs, others are more general. But one of the most important questions we get asked is simply, how do I read my bill? So I made up a 3-part series covering how to read your Medicare bill. This is a very important skill and covers everyone who remains on original Medicare. Medicare Advantage members do not get these bills. I'm going to treat this series of videos just a little bit differently than our normal YouTube Q&A videos. For one thing, I've scripted this one out. For another, I'm going to release these videos on YouTube in 3 parts, after which I shall make them available for watching on my website, www.mymedicareinsider.com, where you will have a direct link to download examples of the bills we discuss, as well as a printable transcript of everything I say in these videos to refer to later. So let's get started. The bills I will be talking about in these videos are bill examples from Medicare. Medicare calls their bills Medicare Summary Notices. Samples of these bills are available on the Medicare website. For the purpose of these videos, we will be using examples that are available for download as of the date of this taping, February 5th, 2019. Everyone who still has Medicare as primary payor and people who have Medicare as secondary payor can expect to receive notices such as these. Please note that Medicare Advantage members will not receive notices like these. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan and need help understanding your bills, it will be in your best interest to speak with your qualified insurance broker or a member of that company's customer service team for assistance. There are 3 types of Medicare summary notices a person could receive. Notices for Part A benefits paid, Part B benefits, or durable medical equipment. We will begin our series with Medicare Part A. Part A. The notice for Medicare Part A shows all the services billed to Medicare for inpatient care in hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, hospice, and home care services. The notice you receive is going to be a minimum of 4 pages long. Let's start by looking at the first page. Page 1 is called your dashboard. At the top left corner of the page is the Medicare/Health and Human Services logo. Directly under that, in a gray box under your address, is your information. You can expect most of your Medicare number to be hidden. However, the last 4 digits of the number should be displayed to help you identify the notice as yours. Under the Medicare number is the print date of the notice. Under that is the dates of service this notice covers. Please pay attention to that date range. It is possible you are looking at claims from provider visits that are further back in the past than you may have been expecting. Under the gray box is your deductible status. Please do not get deductibles for Medicare Part A and Part B confused. A deductible period for Part A can happen multiple times in a year and is significantly higher than the Medicare Part B deductible. They are 2 separate amounts which do not combine with one another. A notice showing just Part A will only discuss the Medicare Part A deductible. This section will show how much of your deductible has been met or is now met for Part A. Remember the definition of a deductible. This is the amount that somebody must pay before Medicare pays its share. Usually, the payor of the deductible is either you or an insurance policy such as a Medicare supplement. Moving on. On the top box on the right-hand column of the summary notice is the total you may be billed section. This will tell you if Medicare approved all claims in the notice. Please be aware it is not uncommon for Medicare to reject certain claims, as many services are billed in groups, and certain rejected claims are not your responsibility to pay. This will be covered in the next couple of pages. In the small gray box under that is the total amount which may be billed. This is the amount of bill not paid by Medicare and will either be paid by you or a third party, such as private insurance. Under that, the last section of the dashboard is a list of facilities you went to. If you went to multiple facilities covered in the dates you are seeing this claim notice for, please check to make sure all the places you went are listed on the form. If one is missing, there may be additional claims forthcoming. If you see a location unfamiliar to you, contact that facility for more information. Now, let's go on to page 2. Page 2 is titled in this description, Making the Most of Your Medicare. Most people ignore this as the fine print page. However, some of that fine print may be important to you. Let's break it down. At the top left-hand corner is a big gray box. It has frequently asked questions. Under that are instructions on how to report Medicare fraud if you suspect any. Medicare fraud and abuse are significant factors in cost increases with the Medicare program. If you suspect any Medicare fraud, please contact Medicare and let them know. The section under that is whom to call if you have questions. The last line also includes the number for your state's senior health insurance program. Of course, if you have Medicare-related health insurance, you should also reach out to them, your agent, or your broker for help in taking first steps. Going to the top right-hand corner of the screen, you come to the description of benefit periods. This is especially important under the Part A notice because many people are unaware how Part A's benefit period works. It is not an annual benefit period. The last section on page 2 is a message from Medicare. Medicare typically has 2 or 3 advisories on each notice for you each time you get one. Basic information. Now let's move on to page 3. This is the meat of the notice, your claims, your specific claims. Now the very top of the page shows what type of claim it is, and it can be either an inpatient claim or an outpatient claim. Under that are definitions. Very important to know for understanding what you are about to read. Next is the claim itself. It will begin with the date you were in the facility and which facility you were at. Under that will be the line item for each benefit period at that facility. The immediate next column will show how many days you used in that facility. Next will be whether the claim was approved or denied. Next column over is non-covered charges. If a claim was denied or only partially approved, the amount not covered in the approval will show up there. Not all non-covered charges are your responsibility to pay, but some are. Pay attention to the footnotes for more info. The next column is the amount Medicare paid. This is not always the full amount. See footnotes for more info. Next is the column of the total amount you may be billed. This amount may be billed to you, or if you have a secondary payor, to them. It is highlighted in bold to make it stand out. And next is, in our opinion, the most important part, the notes. Let's talk a bit about the notes column. The footnotes are the most important part of the notice. Medicare is required to give an explanation for every claim that is denied, every charge you may be incurring. Each charge usually has at least one footnote, sometimes more than that. It is important to read these notes as they can sometimes tell you that a claim was denied, but you are not responsible for paying the charge. Sometimes a claim is your responsibility because it is part of the deductible amount and it will tell you in the notes. And sometimes the notes will say that they paid their share and what you see there is what your responsibility will be or that of a second payor. The notes are the place where the real detective work begins. Let's move on to the last page. In this example, the notice is only 4 pages long. In the real world, page 3 extends as long as there are claims to report. As we move on to the last page, we get to the part of how to handle denied claims. We want to caution people on this. Before filling out an appeal, we encourage a little investigation. Sometimes appeals are unnecessary as a little correction of the claim from the facility's end can fix the problem. Whenever in doubt, talk with somebody knowledgeable about these matters before beginning the appeal process unless there is a time-sensitive emergency. Regardless, let's analyze the last page. We begin at the top where you receive instructions on what to do if a claim was denied, how to go about getting more information if you have a potential problem. Below that is what to do if you wish to file an appeal. Medicare gives you 120 days to file an appeal. They also list when your appeal must be received. Under that is whom to contact should you need assistance in filing your appeal. And again, we encourage you to contact a knowledgeable insurance agent or broker to help with this as one of the people you can contact. Lastly, on the right-hand column is the appeal form. It lists the steps to take to go about filing the appeal. To file it, circle the claims in the prior pages you have a disagreement with. Then, write out a statement to the people handling the appeal as to why you feel the decision was made incorrectly by Medicare. Remembering to include any documentation or other proof you have along with the statement, fill out your name or that of the person helping to file the appeal. Be sure to make copies of everything. Mail the originals to the address on the note. Keep copies in case originals do not make it to their destination, and refer back to the latter should that be necessary. Remember, we strongly advise professional advice and assistance before taking this step. It cannot be overemphasized enough. And that's about all there is to the Medicare Part A Summary Notice. We hope you enjoyed this video. We will have it up in higher quality on our website shortly, along with a transcript and other useful downloadable information to help you should you need it. We highly encourage you to contact a knowledgeable insurance advisor when you have questions, as they can help guide you through the steps you need to take to understanding Medicare. And if you live in Ohio, West Virginia, or Kentucky, feel free to reach out to us.